It was a February night in 1978 when 5 young men disappeared into the snowy wilderness of Northern California. Their car was found perfectly intact, but they were gone. Months later, their bodies would be discovered scattered across a remote forest. No one could explain what had happened. Why did they leave their vehicle? Why didn't they use food and heat in a shelter they found? And why has one of them still never been found? This is the story of the Yuba County Five, a real-life mystery so strange and tragic it has come to be known as America's Dyatlov Pass. But while the Dyatlov incident unfolded in Soviet Russia, this one happened under far more familiar skies, and the questions it leaves behind are just as chilling. To understand the mystery, we must first understand the people at the center of it. The 5 young men from Yuba City, California, were Gary Mathias, 25, a former Army serviceman diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but reportedly stable with medication. Ted Weir, 32, the oldest of the group, intellectually disabled and described as having a childlike innocence. Jack Madruga, 29, a Vietnam veteran considered slow by some, but not officially disabled. Jack Hewitt, 24, very shy, mentally disabled, and extremely close to Weir. Bill Sterling, 27, deeply religious and intellectually disabled. These 5 men were close friends, bonded through a vocational rehabilitation program and a shared love for basketball. They played together as the Gateway Gators and were gearing up for a big tournament that weekend, one that could qualify them for the Special Olympics. On February 24, 1978, they set off to watch a college basketball game in Chico, California. That was the last time any of them would be seen alive. After the game, the group stopped at a nearby store to buy snacks. Nothing seemed unusual. But instead of driving south back toward Yuba City, they headed northeast into the mountains, a direction none of them had a reason to go. Their car, a 1969 Mercury Montego owned by Madruga, was found 4 days later, 70 miles off course in Plumas National Forest. It was abandoned in the snow but perfectly operable. The keys were gone, but there was a quarter tank of gas left. The car wasn't stuck. The tires were fine. Maps were still neatly folded in the glove box. Why did they abandon a working car in the middle of nowhere, dressed in light clothing with a snowstorm approaching? Months passed. Snow made search efforts nearly impossible. Then in June, a group of motorcyclists stumbled upon a U.S. Forestry Service trailer deep in the forest. Inside, they found the decomposing body of Ted Weir. Weir was wrapped in 8 layers of blankets. He had lost over 80 pounds and grown a full beard, indicating he had survived nearly 2 months. Yet he never left the bed. His shoes were missing, and his feet were badly frostbitten. In the same trailer was a locker filled with unopened, dehydrated food, enough to feed several people for a year. Matches and paper for kindling were available. A propane tank that could have provided heat sat unused just outside. Why didn't they use any of it? Why did Ted stay in bed and wait for death in silence? Not far from the trailer, the story darkened further. Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were found 11 miles away from the car, their bodies partly eaten by animals. Jack Hewitt was found days later, his bones discovered by his own father. All of them appeared to have died from exposure. But one man, Gary Mathias, was never found. His shoes were discovered in the trailer, possibly swapped with Weir's larger pair. A flashlight and some blankets were found a quarter mile away, suggesting he may have gone looking for help. But his body was never recovered. Could he have lived longer than the rest? Could he have made it out? Or did something more sinister happen? several theories have been proposed. 1. They got lost. Some say they took a wrong turn, got stuck, panicked, and tried to walk to safety. But the car wasn't stuck. They had gas. Why walk in the cold? 2. Mental health crisis. Gary Mathias had schizophrenia. Could he have had an episode that led the group astray? Perhaps, but he had been stable for years. And why would the others follow him that far? 3rd, foul play. A man named Joseph Shones, trapped in his own car nearby that night, reported seeing a group of people, some men and a woman with a baby, illuminated by headlights. He called out, but they vanished. A blog post later claimed the group had witnessed an altercation and were chased into the forest. Shell casings were allegedly found near the road, but no conclusive evidence supports this. 4th, paranormal explanations. Some suggest the Dyatlov Pass-like parallels are more than coincidence. Disoriented people, abandoned shelter, unexplained behavior, missing persons. Could there be a shared thread of something beyond explanation? These ideas, while dramatic, remain speculative. Gary Mathias remains the only member of the group who has never been located. His military training and relative independence made him the most likely to survive. But to this day, no trace has been found. Not a body, not a footprint, not a single confirmed sighting. Some believe he died trying to find help. Others think he may have lived, perhaps suffering from amnesia or another mental break. Still others suspect foul play or an encounter with something none of us understand. What really happened to Gary Mathias? Over 40 years have passed. The case remains unsolved. Families still grieve. Questions remain. Why did they drive into the mountains? Why abandon the car? Why ignore food and heat in the trailer? Why split up? And what happened to Gary? With so many inconsistencies, the story of the Yuba County Five remains one of the most tragic and baffling cold cases in American history. They left for a basketball game, a simple, happy outing with friends. They never returned. Whatever happened in that snowy forest stole 5 innocent lives and left behind a trail of impossible questions. Was it fear? Was it madness? Or was it something darker? We may never know. But as long as we keep asking, the memory of the Yuba County Five will never truly disappear.